Hi, I'm Carla D. Tillery, and welcome to the Chair Chronicles. I'm your life coach and your favorite auntie. You know, that aunt that is so not afraid to tell you the truth and help you see things just a little clearer, and you love her advice. Well, as a certified life coach with over 2 decades of experience, I'm very passionate about helping you find your happiness. So pull up a chair and let's have a talk. Welcome to the Chair Chronicles Real Talk. Thank you for joining your favorite auntie and your life coach. Hi, I'm Carla D. Tillery, and today I want to prompt you in your thinking about how you define success. Yes, how do you define success? I know if you were to ask different people, your family, your friends, how do they define success? I'm sure you're going to come up with and hear many different definitions. But I want you today to think about how you define success. Success looks so differently in different people. Success really is a relative term. It's how you interpret it, it's how you respond to life and to what you have visualized as success. Success for some is about how they achieve certain things. Success to others is about how they attain certain things. A lot of times it's based on visuals, like what you see, and then what you interpret success and happiness and all of those things. Like if you were close to someone and they were able to get you everything you wanted, then maybe that's how you define success, right? It's based on that ability to have certain things and to be able to do certain things. Or maybe it's based on just the visibility of that person, right? How famous they are, how well known they are. And we know with social media over the last, few years has become such a vital tool. And I think a lot of people are basing success off those individuals that they see in their social media platforms. How many likes they get, how many followers they get. Sometimes they become instant. They have that instant fame just because of a viral video. So success is really an important, element of life that we should think about. But I do want you to be thoughtful about how you define it. Okay, so becoming self-aware and defining what success means to you is the first step really in creating a life that truly makes you happy. You've got to really be aware of it, and you have to understand how you define it. Okay, so let's start to break this down a little bit. It's really an opportunity for you to be very honest with yourself about what you really want out of life. What do you want? Like, what do you want it to look like? How do you want to experience your life? And I believe you have the ability and the decision-making power to create that life that you really want to live. Now, will it be easy? Most likely, no. And the number of people that actually kind of hit this visibility of fame and just everyone knowing them is so rare. And if you're hinging upon that as what you define success, you may live a very unhappy life for a very long time. So you really got to think about, how are you defining what success means to you? If success means obtaining wealth and obtaining like that high-powered position in some type of job or a particular industry, or maybe it's about how big your house is, or how big how fancy your car is. If success is based on those things come and go so quickly at a drop of a hat. It could be a downturn in the economy to make you lose your job. And if you view that particular job as your success, then boom, it's gone and you're going to not feel successful. If all of a sudden you have no more income and you spent all of your money, you spent all of your savings, and money was what you defined as being successful, then you're done. So you've got to be really aware and you've got to be thoughtful about how you define success. Right? Real talk. How do you define success? Because if it's on those things, you may be struggling trying to live a happy life. So let's try to see how others define success. So I do want to read a few things. So life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. And life takes time. That's how one person defines success. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. And life takes time. So in the eye of this individual, it really is about learning from those life lessons that is continual, right? As long as you're living, there always going to be some type of lesson that you're going to learn. And as you're doing that over time, right, and learning from those lessons, that is building success. Okay, so here's another one. Success is an answer to the hard work and perseverance that I give to perform a task at hand. It is to remind myself once again that I too have the power within. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Wow. That was a mouthful, I know. But I think I want to just bring out one of the key statements to me, which is to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Just being yourself in the eye of this individual is the greatest accomplishment. I mean, we're struggling with so many people with self-image, and from body image to just how they're seen in the light of others and others' opinions about them really weighs heavy on so many of us, right? How many times have you gotten upset because somebody saw you differently than how you intended it? And you were like, gee, that's not how I want to be portrayed. Or someone said something negative about you, and it really affected your self-image and your self-esteem. And just the ability to just be who you are, regardless of what anybody else says, what anybody else thinks of you. Oh my God. Like, that is an accomplishment. That's what this one person was saying. Like, that is successful, to just be who you are in a world where everybody is trying to change you. Whether it's just images that you see and you kind of got like this internal thing of like, okay, I want to look like that, or I want to be like that, or I want to have what they have, right? Just to not have those things influence your decisions, how you live, what you do. Man, just the ability to just be you. Wow, that is an accomplishment. Okay, I got one more quote. So here it is. Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and how you do it. That's from the great Maya Angelou. And I love this quote. Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. And I emphasize how. Because I think that is critical. I think, when we think about how people live and we see certain things that really are harmful to people, that's dishonest, that doesn't have integrity, that is the how, right? It's okay if you have a lot of things. It's okay if you have a lot of money or don't have a lot of money. But how do you treat other people? How do you live? How you choose to live and act and respond to things, I think, is more important than actually having those things. So how you do it. So liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it can define success. And I absolutely love that quote. Okay, so let's go back to thinking about how you're defining success. So hopefully you're taking some notes and you're thinking about this as you're listening to this podcast. So in my life coaching practice, I do define success with those that I'm working with as achieving their desired vision and plan goals. You know, I'm big on vision. I'm big on planning goals and setting out those actions to kind of get there. So that's big for me. Again, when I'm working with individuals and organizations, I want to understand what's their vision. What are they trying to obtain? What are those goals? And let's set out those action items to get there. So over time, as you start to measure those things and check in on your progress and evaluate and monitor like where you are in achieving those things, then that puts you on a pathway to being successful, right? Because we set out something to achieve, and once we achieve those things, boom, we got it. That is success. So, but personally, when I think about defining success, I think about defining success as, you ready? Here we go. Success is discovering and fulfilling your purpose based on your value system. That's simple to me. Discovering your purpose, fulfilling your purpose within your value system. And your value system, again, is almost like this foundation for things, right? It's not about things. Hopefully those are not things you value, right? In the terms of what makes you happy. Okay, so here it is. Yeah, will money make me happy? Absolutely. But I do know this, is that cannot be how I live my life, just being driven towards money. Because money will come, money will go. Do I want more money? I'm not going to fool you. Absolutely. Listen, if y'all want to send me some money, I can give you my Cash App. But listen, that is not how I want to live my life. Just driving everything that I do based on getting money. No, I don't want to live like that. That's not sustainable. It's not going to make me happy long term. And it doesn't include things like a sense of peace, having good, solid relationships, being connected to people in an integral way, having things and people around me that are about honesty, that are about truth. Those are things that I value. And those aren't things that require money. Those aren't things that require a big house or a fancy car or notoriety. It's about my everyday life, knowing that I am doing what I was intended to do based on my creation by someone greater than me. So discovering why I'm here and fulfilling that, to me, defines success. And the reason why I included the value system in my definition is because I really like Maya Angelou and what she said. It's about how you do it. And that how you do it shows up in your value system. So what do you value? How do you show up? How do you live? Is it based on peace? Is it based on love? Is it based on integrity? Is it based on connection with relationships? Because you can have all the money in the world and be so lonely. You can have the big house and be in there all by yourself. Or you might have to pay people to come. Have those big old parties, right? Where you're always inviting people and no one just wants to come be with you. It's driven by something else. So I don't call that and consider that success. If you have all the money in the world, but all your relationships are broken, that to me is not a fulfilling life. So I want you to think about it. Now that's mine. That's me. Those are my definitions. But I do want to charge you to think about how you define success. So if you start to look at success based on some of the things or based on my definition, here are 3 keys to success in achieving that. Here we go. 1, it is discovering your purpose and value system. And I did an earlier episode on how do you know your purpose? So I challenge you to go listen to that episode and to listen to the steps and the instruction on how you can get closer to discovering your purpose. Because I believe being successful is discovering that. And here we go. Number 2, aligning what you do with your purpose. You can live for 100 years doing things. You could be what others define successful at doing those things. But if that's not what you're created to do, then how successful were you? If you were here for a reason and you did everything else but accomplish that, are you successful? Maybe you'll challenge that thought. Maybe you think totally different. Maybe you think success is not directly related to your purpose. I want to hear from you. So send me your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. But based on discovering your purpose and fulfilling that, aligning what you do should absolutely be directly connected to your purpose. And number 3, align how you become based on that value system that you've established. How you do it, how you live. I believe that is one of the primary keys to being successful, is knowing how do you want to become? How do you want to live? How do you want to show up in this world? How do you want people to see you? Is it based on really strong values? Or is it based on some craziness? Yeah, some craziness. Because a lot of times we want to get things done, but it's how you do it that can set you apart from really showing up in a positive way or showing up in a negative way, in a harmful way, and in a way that is destructive. So I want you to think about how you define success. I believe that as you start to kind of set out the goals and things that you want to achieve in this world, understanding how you get that accomplished is so key. And then how you measure it. How do you look at your results? Do those results mean that you're successful or not? So I hope this is good thought for you. I hope that I've dropped some nuggets for you to really think about defining success and how you show up in life to kind of bring that fulfillment to you, to be able to say, you know what? I'm successful. And is it based on things? Is it based on what you have achieved? Or is it based on who you've become and who you are becoming? Is it that process, that long journey of I'm walking in success every step of the way because I know my purpose, I'm fulfilling my purpose, and how I show up and how I become aligns with my value system. Come on, I couldn't repeat that again if I wanted to. So hit the rewind. Listen, success, how does that look to you? And to me, if you know your purpose, if you're fulfilling your purpose, and if you're showing up in the world, showing up at work, showing up in your family, showing up in your community, and who you become, how that looks to others, if that's aligned with your value system, boom, baby, you are walking in success. So listen, take some time, think about how you define it, because I do believe self-awareness and defining your, success to you will be so helpful in you living your best life. So listen, go out there, live your best life, and align that thing up with your purpose, and boom, we're doing this thing together. All right, so thank you so much for joining another episode of the Chair Chronicles. I want you to I want you to share. I want you to talk with your family, talk with your friends about this thought-provoking question. How do you define success? So listen, stay tuned and stay connected with your favorite auntie on the Chair Chronicles.